Hello everyone, it's Michelle here. How are you? I'm back to read The Hidden Effects of Trauma, okay, in my From Dust to Diamond book. So let's go. Sorry, just drinking my coffee down very quickly. The Hidden Effects of Trauma. So, one of the most difficult parts of living with trauma is some of the voices that echo in our minds and the feelings that we have that hide and grow within us. We have habits, we have patterns that we tend to follow and carry out on a daily basis due to some of the triggers that have left us like feeling particular ways. So it may not always help us connect with the past because we've got these habits and patterns that we're doing to cover up layers upon layers of what have been built up over time. Do you understand? You don't realise that it's trauma because you've learned how to survive and cope with what it is that you've gone through. Smile, get up, carry on, tidy up, go shopping, maybe eat your way out of things. A lot of people have different ways of coping with their traumatic experiences. And yeah, you might not actually realise that it's trauma. Sorry, my hair's sticking up. Sorry. You may not realise that it's trauma. So I've got anxiety as one of them. Anxiety that never seems to leave. It's always waiting for something to go wrong, something to happen. You're always looking left, looking right, thinking that danger is going to appear anytime you enter a room. And often the worst case scenario plays over and over in your head. You get short of breath, heart palpitations, panic attacks type of thing. Then I've got perfectionism, always wanting something to be perfect, worrying that it's going to go wrong. You want it to be flawless. Some people feel like that when looking at themselves in the mirror. They don't think that it's okay for their hair to be a mess and just to leave it messy, or for their skin not to have certain products, or they need to have certain items of clothing to feel worthy and important, or their house has to look a certain way, or their car needs to be a certain way. Like everything has to be in order. I sound like I'm talking about OCD, but it's not necessarily OCD. It can be just the need of perfection. Yeah. Believing that you must perform flawlessly to avoid criticism, rejection, and punishment. Some people think that, I need to pass all of my exams or everyone's going to look at me like a failure. It's okay to get something wrong in your life, Self-doubt, second-guessing every decision, apologising for existing or feeling unworthy of taking up space. Always saying, I'm sorry. This is in the way, that's in the way. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, sorry, did I hurt you? Sorry, did I do... Just stop being sorry all the time. It's okay. Okay? Fear of abandonment, fear of being alone, panicking when someone doesn't reply to your messages, feeling unwanted at the smallest sign of distance or holding on to a toxic relationship just to avoid being alone. They'd rather stay in a relationship that means them no well, no good, go through so much abuse just because of fear of being alone, and that's wrong. You know, it's so important to know that you're worth so much more, and these things take time. It takes time, but I'm just telling you now what the hidden effects of trauma are. Overgiving, pouring yourself into others to feel valuable while quietly burning out. So I've been through this in my life where I've really wanted to do everything I can to make others happy, and yet my own life was on the back burner. I was so tired and exhausted that I didn't have time for my own success and my own health and my own life. So it's important that you put yourself first and try not to overgive too much to others. Silence. This is a really interesting one because I've also been through this. When I was very young, I didn't speak when I should have spoken, and you can often feel worried or scared of what other people will think. If you've been through trauma, you don't say things that you're meant to say, and you often try and cover things up with other actions, okay? Not speaking up when your boundaries are crossed because you learned that your voice would not be heard or respected. I think a lot of young people go through that. When they're younger, they're told to be quiet, don't speak, you're a child, you know? So you tend not to say things because of fear of what other people might think or not being believed or respected. I think in the times that we live in now, it's a little bit different. Young people just say what they want to say. They don't care anymore. There's a lot of emphasis on health and mental well-being and self-love. And a lot of people are starting to really home in into spirituality and what it is that they deserve and crave. And I think more people are speaking out, especially in the younger generations. So each of these symptoms of unhealed trauma can be survival responses that once served a purpose, but now they're holding you back. Okay? None of them are personality flaws. They're not who you are. They're not a part of your personality. They are survival responses that once served a purpose, but they are now holding you back. I'm just going to leap forwards. So, how can we heal from all of these hidden effects of trauma? How can we heal? Everyone wants to know, what can I do to make myself feel better? What can I do to make myself feel confident again when I look in the mirror? What can I do to make myself feel and look beautiful? Healing does not begin with forgetting nor pretending that the past never happened. Healing begins with understanding. Before you can rebuild, you must look honestly at what was broken. So you need to be honest about everything that's happened to you, everything that's gone wrong, everything that's broken, whether it's a relationship, whether it's losing your job, whether it's not loving yourself, whether it's something that happened in your childhood, whether it's your family, whether it's just anything you could think of that's broken, the first step is recognizing it. No, it's not your fault, okay? And recognizing pain without judgment. Saying, yes, this happened to me. Yeah, this has happened to me. You know, I am a single parent. You know, I am on my own. I am doing this thing by myself, for example. It has affected me and it is difficult. It can be hard. Yes, yes. But I'm not going to blame myself, okay, for what's happened in my past. I'm going to move forward. That's just an example, okay? So it's about saying, yeah, this happened to me, but I'm not going to blame myself. I'm not going to let this determine who I am moving forwards. I'm going to do something about it, okay? And it's just about telling the truth and being honest with yourself, because you'll find then you can embrace who you are a bit more with confidence and strength. You get more courage and wisdom, okay? The second step is to practice self-compassion. Just look at yourself and say, you know what, I am sorry this has happened to you, and I forgive you for whatever you've done, your part that's played in this. I forgive you, and we're going to work this out together. Yeah? So trauma often leaves us harsh with ourselves. So it's about being kind to yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself, okay? I should be stronger. I should be further along in life. I should be different. But you need to remember you're only human and you're healing, okay? Tell yourself, I'm doing the best with what I've got. I'm not perfect, but I'm going to do the best. Third step, to seek a safe space. Healing rarely happens in isolation. It happens when we allow the light to touch the places we've hidden. Whether it's a trusted friend, a faith community, a therapist, or a journal, find a space where your truth can exist without fear. Safety is everything. Finding a safe space. I never forget when I was younger, I had a diary and I used to write in it. I love journaling from a very young age. And I feel like my writing journey kind of got blocked growing up because someone found my diary and read it, and I was really embarrassed and scared of what they might think of me. I had a crush on someone at school and I wrote it all down in my diary. I was only 10. But I got into trouble and I was told that I'm not allowed to have a boyfriend, and that kind of ruined my whole life. Someone finding my diary and reading it. I loved writing, and it took me a long time to find that safe place again. And yeah, I felt kind of exposed, you know, the fact that someone found it and then teased me and told me what I can and can't do. So I think it's important that you find that safe place where no one can come and, you know, sabotage what it is that you're trying to rebuild. So I'm going to read from Dust to a Diamond, a paragraph. Think of trauma like dust. Dust settles quietly, covering everything. It can make you feel heavy, dull, unworthy of notice. But under the right conditions, with pressure, heat, and time, even the most ordinary dust can transform into something unbreakable, even radiant, precious. This is what healing does. It takes what was broken and makes it strong. It takes what was hidden and makes it shine. It takes what was once overlooked and reveals its worth. You're not just dust. You're in the process of becoming a diamond. So what I want you to do is write down 3 hidden effects of trauma that you recognize in yourself or may have recognized in the past, whether it was anxiety, perfectionism, fear, abandonment, or silence. Write them down and say, this is not who I am. This is what I survived. Who I am is stronger, more wiser, and still becoming. Okay, I will move on 2 minutes about reclaiming what was lost. Okay, it's so important that we learn to reclaim. Trauma can leave you feeling as though pieces of your life, your joy, and even your identity has been stolen. But healing is a process of reclaiming your voice, i.e. speaking honestly, writing your journal, telling your story on your own terms, reclaiming your body, treating yourself with care, rest, movement, and boundaries instead of shame and exhaustion. Reclaiming your time, choosing where your energy goes instead of allowing the guilt or obligation to control you. Reclaiming your faith and hope, trusting in something greater than trauma and allowing yourself to believe in the future. Reclaiming your joy, laughter, play, creativity, and simple pleasures that trauma once silenced. Every act of reclaiming, no matter how small, is an act of resistance against what harmed you. It is how you rewrite your narrative from being defined by trauma to being defined by resilience and renewal. So I hope you've enjoyed that. What you can do, I've got my eye on the time. What you could do is write a list of the things you want to reclaim in your life. For each, ask yourself, what small steps should I take this week to move closer to reclaiming these things? So, what steps? Okay, thanks for watching. I'm going to dash off now because I have some bits and bobs to do in the kitchen. I've got to make dinner. So, speak to you later. Bye.